Hello, fellow sorcerers. I wanted to showcase a revised deck comparison network using new curated data provided by GoldenEagle. This data originates from his Sorcerer Summit Discord, and thank you again, GoldenEagle, for providing this data. The main difference between this data set and the one I showed in the first video is that this one comprises of validated top 8 decks from competitions only in 2025. So while it might be a slightly smaller data set, the decks are more temporally relevant and related to one another. So there's like no 40-20 decks mixed in here, for example. And also in the previous analysis, older decks were included, and any placement like first, second, and so on was relied to be self-reported in a title. In this case, this is all curated from different competitions by GoldenEagle. So this will provide one final look at the 2025 decks prior to Gothic. Additionally, I'm releasing this network tool along with preloaded with this data set, as well as some other data sets, and the previous data set that I showed. And it's available at sorcerydeckdiff.com/network, so that you can go and explore the data and draw your own conclusions of what happened in 2025. So very briefly, just wanted to show this this network, and it's the GoldenEagle Top 2025. We're going to just up this threshold a little bit. So each node here is a different deck. 2 nodes are connected if their similarity is above the given threshold. So we're going to, the default here is 0.4. We're going to make it a 0.5 just to make it a little more stringent. We're going to zoom in here and just pull on this Druid, since that's a cluster we want to look at. And we see that the aggregate decks from that cluster are primarily Druids. So it's 15 Druids and 2 Dragon Lords. And so if we scroll, we're going to see that this is the sort of Steam Druid cluster. And a couple of things to note is the Tor's Hammer Trinket is at completely ubiquitous at 100% inclusion, and even at 3 copies of in most decks. So this is a sort of auto include in this type of Steam Druid deck. But the 2 properties that were sort of very prominent are the magic, where we see a lot of these red magic spells that I'm familiar with, and then also in the minions. So in the minions, we see some that are also very ubiquitous, the Violent and Morgana Le Fay, and then all of these other sort of standard minions, and we have to get all the way over to number 11 before we the 11th position until we see a non-fire minion in the Lugbug Cat. So this is to say that the Steam Druid is really more of a fire with a little bit of water Druid than anything. So that was sort of one of the, between the minions and the magics. So that was one of the things that leapt out from this particular curated data set. There's a bunch of other properties that are kind of fun to tease out, and I'll leave that for you to explore if you want to go see it at sorcerydeckdiff.com/network. But we're going to do a little cheat here. We're going to just connect everything and then click on one of the nodes, and then we see the aggregate deck for all of the included decks. We're just sort of forcing everything to be connected. And we see that the top deck is, again, our Druid here, with 1/3 of all of the top performing decks being Druid. So they did very well. And the sort of correction on the power of Druid is probably the correct move in sort of preventing its continued dominance. So the next most common avatar was a sorcerer, and you can explore the network to see what kind of decks contain sorcerer, but it's still a far cry from the 1/3 of the total that Druid maintained. So anyway, it was just these sort of little tidbits from the very nice and curated data set from GoldenEagle. So thank you again for that, and we'll see you in Gothic. Bye.